So often we see the emptiness in our lives as our biggest problem. But I think that when God looks at the empty place in our lives, the empty place left behind by disappointment, by what we thought we would be doing, we're not doing, by something we've desired that we don't have, when God looks at that empty place, I don't think he sees it as our biggest problem. I think he sees it as his greatest opportunity. Because God does his best work with empty. He always has. Think about the way the Bible begins. The Bible begins, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and it was formless and what? Void. Empty. Well, was that a problem to God? I don't think so. He spoke, and the emptiness was filled with light and life and relationship and purpose and meaning. Emptiness is not a problem to God. As we trace the Bible story, we come to God calling one man to himself, Abram, through whom he's going to accomplish his purposes in the world. But when we get there to Genesis 10:11, we discover there is a problem. And the problem is that here is Abram, this man who is supposed to be the father of many descendants, but his wife, Sarai, she's barren, empty. Her womb is empty. And once again, is this a problem for God? Not at all. Even though they are aged, God comes, he does a work in their bodies, and Sarai's womb is filled with a child they name Laughter. Her life is filled with joy. Emptiness, not a problem to God. But of course, Sarai is really pointing us toward another woman who will come. And this woman, she too, her womb will be empty, but it's not because she's too old to have a child. It's because she's never been with a man. Then an angel comes to Mary, and he says to her that the Holy Spirit is going to come and overshadow her. And her womb, she's going to conceive the very life of God, the Son of God. Emptiness is not a problem to God. You see, we have this promise that Jesus spoke directly to Paul. When Paul came to him about the thorn in his flesh, his answer was, "My grace is sufficient." My grace is sufficient. It's enough. He's saying, I'm enough. Now, maybe when you read that line, it doesn't seem like it's really addressing the deep sense of emptiness you feel. Well, I want you to understand what Jesus is promising here when he says, my grace is sufficient. He's saying, I'm going to be enough for you. And I'm going to give my grace to you in the form and in the timing and in the quantity in which you need it. I'm going to be enough to fill up the emptiness.